Hi. So today I'm going to talk about how to finish your paintings and how to get them ready for shipping and hanging, actually, and how to record your paintings by number and things like that, and just show you what I do. So my name's Ann Gaffey. I'm at Liberty Arts District at Liberty Station, and I'm going to turn my iPad down so I can show you all the things that I do. Okay. All right, so let's get wired. Here we go. At any time, you can go to my website and press contact, and you can send me an email if you'd like to know any particulars about what we did in this class. Okay, so here's a painting that I recently finished. It was a painting that I had done before, but I hadn't recorded it. And on some of these smaller paintings, I just use one of these sawtooth hooks. But on this painting, I am going to wire it. It's nice to give people an option. I don't do that with a larger painting, but I will do it with this painting. So the first thing I do when I finish a painting is after I decide what I'm going to call it, then I write it down in this book. So I have a record. So this is going to be 4302, and it is prickly pineapple. Prickly pineapple. And I always record the size. So let me take a tape measure. It's 11 by 14. So, you know, I'm not going to remember 6 months from now what size this was. So it's 11 by 14. It's on wood panel. So I put all that on here. And it is 1.5 inches deep. And it is mixed media. So I write that down. And I'll write down the price. So this painting is $360 because it's small. So once I have that recorded, then I put it on here. I write it right on the back of the painting with a permanent marker. And I do this whether it's wood or canvas. So just write the number down, number 4302. Prickly pineapple. It is 11 inches by 14 inches by 1.5 inches. It is an original. I always write that down. And it is mixed media. And what else? I think that's it. That's what I write on there. And then if there's room down here, I sign it. I also sign the front. But if I have room back here, I will sign it. And I'll tell you why this is important to catalog your work. Sometimes I paint over a painting. So this was one of those paintings. It was a study, and it was an owl. And I had it sitting around for a while, and I thought, well, I'm just going to collage over it, and then I'm going to paint something else over it. So it was called, well, I hadn't numbered it yet, but other paintings that I have numbered and painted over are in here, categorized. And I will say, okay, number, let's see, I found one the other day when I was teaching a class. Okay, here's number 4272, and it was called Do What Makes Your Heart Sing. And it didn't sell. And so it was 36 by 36 by 2 inches. Multimedia. This was on canvas. It doesn't say that, it should have. And now the new name for it is called Soul Sing. So it has this number. So I've crossed this out on the painting and I've put in this number. So that's why I do that. And then I just have this in a little binder, okay? Now, the things you need, you don't need a hand drill, but I have one cordless drill. And you need to get a supply of little, these I use for large paintings. And these little guys I use for smaller paintings. And that's what I'm going to use today. So I take 2 of these out. Oh, that guy's not a good one. Okay, 2 of those out and 2 small nails. I really prefer to use longer nails like these, but I'm kind of running out of them. And they came with these, so I'm assuming it's going to be okay. And I just keep this always in this little muffin tin, and it fits right in the top of the box. That I also keep the wire, and this wire is coated with plastic. And as I go along, I'm going to talk to you about that. So what I do to figure out where I want to hang this, oops, it's 14 inches. So I'm going to come down. The rule of thumb for me is a third of the way down. So I'm going to come down 4.5 inches on this one. And I mark it with a pencil. Okay, so it's the same on both sides. So you need this little, you need some kind of a thing to mark it. It could be a ruler, it doesn't have to be that. Then I'm going to put this little D-ring on here. Now, one good thing about this is this point on here is magnetic, so they just sit right there like they're supposed to. Now I have this little mark on here. The little thing wants to flip-flop all around. Okay, so then I'm just gonna start it slow. Now I want to hold it so this is straighter than that. There we go. And really put it in there. Okay, so that's one side. And like I said, with these smaller paintings, I do like to give people the option to, you know, just put it up with this little guy if they want. Some people like that. It's easy. It's easy to measure with this too on a wall. You know, like I want it right here, and that means I have to put the nail just a little bit down from that, so people find it easy. Like I said, I wouldn't use that on a large painting. All right, so that's in. Now I'm going to take I think I got all this stuff on Amazon, by the way, and you could probably find it at Home Depot or, you know, one of those big box stores. So I'm going to take this, and I want about 4 or 5 inches on the end. Oops, the thing came out. Okay, so then this one's going to be here. So I'm going to cut this about right here. I really should have some wire cutters, but I don't. So I'm going to just use this pair of scissors. Now, you don't want this so taut that there's no give. And another thing is you don't want it so loose that it comes way up to the top. So you've got to find a happy medium. So then I just take this, I swirl it around once, pull it tight, and then I'm going to go right into that little loop, the D-ring, and I'm going to really pull it, okay? Then I'm just going to wrap this around and around and around until there's no more of this to go. And if it's too long, which sometimes I do cut it too long, then I'll just cut the remaining part off. But this is not too long. This is going to be just fine. So I do the same thing over here. Pulled it tight, put that in there, pull it tight. Well, that's pretty taut, but it's, you know what? I think I'm going to loosen it a little bit. So you have to figure out how you want it. And after you do this a little bit, you'll figure it out. So now I just loosened it slightly. You can see it's got a little bit more give. I'm going to put this back down in there, pull it tight again, and then do exactly what I did over here. Just over. I'm doing it tight. The plastic covering on this keeps it from scratching your wall. So if you have freshly painted walls, and what if you decide you don't want it there, and so on and so forth. So this is not going to scratch your wall. And also these D-rings, they're metal and they could scratch, but if you put them this way where they're, you know, kind of, some people put them this way, and I think you have a more likelihood of scratching if you've got one that's going like this. Okay, so you don't want to scratch the wall. So this is going to be hanging like this. So when I hang something, I know the top of it. I mark the top of the wall where I want this. So I'll put it on the wall, mark it. Then I'll say, okay, this is, how many inches is that from the top of that wall? So this is 3 and an eighth or a 16th. So I would mark the wall. This darn thing keeps coming out. I would mark the wall, and then I would say, okay, 3 inches lower than that is where I want to put my little guy like this. Okay, so that's what I would do. That's how I would mark it. Now, this isn't it. Okay, so what I also do is I'll take a little baggie, I'll put a couple of my cards in here, and what do I do with that little guy? I'll just use this one. I'll put, if it's a small painting, which this one is, I will put one of these small clips in here. If it's a bigger painting, you know, heavier and bigger, I'll use this size. And it's got a much sturdier nail for your wall. And so some of the boards that I use that are big, they're heavy. They're probably, oh, I don't even know how much, but they're heavy. So you wouldn't want a little tiny guy like this. But for this painting, it's fine. So put that in there like that. So they have it, they bought it, they've got it, they take it home, it's ready to hang. I put this around here, I take my stapler, and I don't go through my business card because I don't want them to be able to keep that. And then I have that just like that. And now it's ready to go. So that's how you do it. It's all ready to go. All right, so I don't know what we'll be doing next time, but maybe getting your board ready to paint might be a good one, and all the materials that I use. So anyway, have fun, and I'll see you next time. And gaffeyart.com. Bye-bye.